Daniel Westbrook sat on the park bench, staring at his phone without really seeing it at 41. He had everything success was supposed to bring: a financial consulting firm, luxury cars, a penthouse apartment, and absolutely no one to share it with. His ex-wife had left 3 years ago, taking their plans for children with her. Since then, Daniel had buried himself in work, avoiding anything that felt too personal. Today, his therapist had insisted he take a break, go to the park. She'd said, be around people. Now he sat watching families. Feeling more alone than ever, a small voice interrupted his thoughts. "Excuse me." "Sir." Daniel looked up to see a little girl in a pink dress with sunflowers. She had blonde pigtails and was clutching a $50 bill like it was treasure. "Yes?" Daniel said, trying not to sound as miserable as he felt. The girl took a deep breath as if gathering courage. "I need to hire you," she announced. Daniel blinked. "Hire me? For a dad?" the girl continued. "Just for today, I have $50 and my teacher said that's a lot of money, so I think it's enough." Daniel stared at her. "You want to hire me to be your father?" The girl nodded seriously. "Just for today? There's a daddy-daughter picnic at school this afternoon and my dad lives far away and can't come, and my mom has to work at her job and everyone will have their dads except me." Her voice cracked on the last words. Daniel felt his chest tighten. "What's your name?" "Penelope," she said. "But everyone calls me Penny." "Penny, where is your mother right now?" "At work," Penny replied. "She works at the bank downtown. She said Mrs. Rodriguez next door would watch me. But Mrs. Rodriguez fell asleep and I came here to find someone." Daniel's concern shifted to alarm. "Does your mother know you left?" Penny looked down. No. Daniel stood up. "Okay. First thing we need to do is call your mother. But then she'll know I left and she'll be upset and she won't let me go to the picnic?" Penny protested, tears forming. "She'll be more upset if she doesn't know where you are," Daniel said gently. He pulled out his phone. "What's her number?" Penny reluctantly recited it. A woman answered on the second ring. "Hello? Ms. Reyes, my name is Daniel Westbrook. I'm in Riverside Park with your daughter Penelope." "What?" "Penny is supposed to be with my neighbor. Who are you?" "I'm someone she approached asking to hire as her father for the day," Daniel explained. He heard a sharp intake of breath. "She didn't," the woman whispered. "She did," Daniel confirmed. "She has $50 and she's very determined to attend a daddy-daughter picnic at her school." There was a long pause. "I'll be there in 15 minutes. Daniel sat back. Down on the bench, Penny stood in front of him. Shoulders slumped. "I'm in trouble, aren't I?" "Your mom is worried," Daniel said, "but I don't think you're in trouble. I think you're just a kid who wants her dad at school." "My dad moved to California," Penny said quietly. "He got a new job and he said he'd visit, but he hasn't yet. It's been 7 months. Daniel's heart broke a little. "I'm sorry." "That must be really hard. Mom says he's busy," Penny said. "But I think maybe he just forgot about me." "I'm sure he didn't forget you," Daniel said. Though he wondered if that was true, a woman appeared. Rushing across the park, she was in her early 30s with Penny's blonde hair, wearing business clothes and looking terrified. "Penny!" she cried, pulling her daughter into a hug. "I'm sorry." "Mama!" Penny sobbed. Daniel stood respectfully. The woman looked at him over Penny's head. "Thank you for calling me," she said. "I'm Maria Reyes." "Daniel Westbrook," he replied after the immediate crisis passed. Maria sat on the bench with Penny while Daniel stood nearby. "Why didn't you tell me this was so important to you?" Maria asked her daughter gently. "Because you always have to work," Penny said. "And I didn't want to make you sad that you couldn't come." Maria closed her eyes. "Baby, I would have found a way. Your manager said no more time off," Penny pointed out. Maria looked defeated. Daniel found himself speaking. "What time is the picnic?" 2 o'clock, Maria said, checking her watch. "It's noon now." "And it lasts how long?" 2 hours. Daniel made a decision. "I'll go with Penny." Maria stared at him. "You don't even know us." "No," Daniel agreed, "but I'm free this afternoon." And Penny clearly put a lot of thought into finding someone. He pulled out his wallet and handed Maria his business card. "Look me up. Call my office, check my background. I'll wait right here while you do." Maria studied the card, then pulled out her phone. 10 minutes and several phone calls later, she looked up. "You run Westbrook Financial?" I do. You're worth millions. That's not really relevant, Daniel said. Why would you do this? Maria asked. Daniel looked at Penny, who was watching him with desperate hope. Because 12 years ago, my father missed my college graduation because he had a golf game, Daniel said. And I've never forgotten how that felt. He met Maria's eyes. I don't have children. I don't have anyone depending on me for anything important. So if I can help Penny have one good afternoon, then maybe that means something. Maria was quiet for a long moment. Okay, she finally said. But I'm coming to the school to check on you both. The daddy-daughter picnic was held in the school gym. Daniel felt out of place among the fathers in casual clothes. He was still wearing his business suit. Penny held his hand tightly as they entered. Remember, she whispered, you're not really my dad. I know, Daniel replied. We're just friends helping each other out. But as the afternoon progressed, something shifted. Daniel found himself genuinely enjoying Penny's company. She was smart and funny and asked questions that made him think. They played games, ate picnic food, and Penny introduced him to all her friends. This is Mr. Westbrook, she would say. He's my friend who came because my real dad couldn't make it. The honesty was refreshing. Other fathers approached Daniel. Making small talk, one man recognized him from business publications. What brings you to a school picnic? The man asked. A very determined 7-year-old with $50, Daniel replied. At the end of the picnic, Maria arrived to pick up Penny. How did it go? She asked anxiously. It was fun, Penny announced. Mr. Westbrook is really good at the three-legged race, Maria smiled. Thank you, she said to Daniel. This meant the world to her. It meant a lot to me, too, Daniel admitted over the next few weeks. Daniel found himself thinking about Penny and Maria about the way Penny had approached. A stranger, because she needed help about Maria working 2 jobs to support her daughter alone. He called Maria and asked if he could take Penny to the Science Museum as a thank you, he said. She taught me something important that day. Maria hesitated. What did she teach you? That sometimes asking for help is braver than doing everything alone, Daniel said. The museum trip happened, then another outing, then dinner with Maria joining them. Daniel discovered he enjoyed Maria's company. She was intelligent, hard-working, and fiercely protective of her daughter. She was also struggling financially in ways Daniel could help with, but he was careful. He didn't want to be the rich man solving all their problems. He wanted to be someone who genuinely cared. 4 months after that day in the park, Daniel and Maria sat on a bench watching Penny play. Can I ask you something personal? Maria said. Of course. Why are you still single? She asked. You're successful, kind, good with kids. Daniel was quiet for a moment. I was married once, he said. We couldn't have children, and it became this thing that defined us. Eventually, she left, and I decided it was easier to just focus on work. That sounds lonely, Maria said. It was, Daniel admitted, until a little girl offered me $50 to be her dad for a day. He turned to face Maria. You and Penny reminded me what I was missing. Not just family, but connection, purpose, the feeling that someone needs you for something more than your bank account. Maria took his hand. We do need you, she said quietly, but not for your money. For you 6 months later? Daniel asked Maria to marry him. Penny was there when he proposed. Because she was part of this too? Does this mean you'll be my real dad? Penny asked. If you want me to be, Daniel said. But what about my other dad? Penny asked, suddenly worried. He'll always be your father, Daniel assured her. I'm just asking to be someone else who loves you and is there for you. Penny thought about this. Can I have 2 dads? Absolutely, Daniel said. They married in a small ceremony. Penny was the flower girl and carried a bouquet with a $50 bill tucked inside for good luck. She explained. Daniel framed that $50 bill after the wedding, a reminder that the best things in life start with courage, the courage to ask for help, the courage to say yes to something unexpected, the courage to believe in second chances. He had spent years building wealth, but it took a 7-year-old girl with $50 to teach him about true riches, about family and love and showing up when it matters. Sometimes the most important investment you can make has nothing to do with money. Sometimes the greatest return comes from opening your heart, and sometimes a child's Simple request becomes the answer to a question you didn't. Know you were asking if this story touched your heart. Please like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment about an unexpected moment that changed your perspective on what truly matters.